Okay, so on my last video, I showed how I took the Jekito awning and hooked it up to my 10 by 10 canopy tent, but I left the poles on. I very quickly realized that if I had the right size brackets with a square notch for 1¼ inch steel tubing, that you can do away with the poles. So I thought, well, maybe I can make it myself, and I did. I went ahead and mocked up a couple of prototypes. I just cut them out of oak wood. When I get the design ironed out, I will cast these in a zinc alloy, a sand cast. It's fairly easy to do, but I think this is something that a lot of people will like to have for their craft fair tent. This awning, you'll see, is obviously it's retractable. So let me go ahead and lower it down. I just can't believe that somebody else, one of the many manufacturers that make this particular style of awning, nobody else has come up with the, intuition to make this. They're really going to increase their market. All the craft fairs that are going on, 10 by 10 is pretty much a standard size, and I've checked, almost all of them use the 1¼ inch steel tubing. I mean, come on guys, let's think about it. I mean, I know a lot of other vendors in the craft shows that I go to. We are always talking about, hey, I'd like to have an awning for my thing. When it rains, it expands your space a little bit. Your customers can get under there without getting wet. The benefits are, innumerable. So we'll take a closer look at these prototypes and give you a good look at it. All right, so let's go ahead and start with what I call the passive end. This is the end that just rotates on this little spindle here. All right, so you can see, yeah, they're not exactly pretty, but they get the job done enough to show. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. Just think about it, slimmed down and made out of zinc. Would be real nice. Here's the sidearm part, which is pretty much the same thing. All right, 1¼ inch notch. Definitely will not be making it out of wood, but I mean, it just gets the job done here, enough to show that it can be done. I mean, with this system, we get rid of this set of poles right here. Don't need those. All we need are these brackets that will hook up. The mechanism, the winding mechanism, it was easy to take off of the original one. Drilled a couple of holes, reattached it to this. I mean, easy peasy. So, if Jekito or some of the others don't come up with this, I am going to pitch it, see if they like it enough to reproduce, and hopefully compensate me for the idea. That would be nice. We'll see if they'll do the right thing. They ought to be able to go to production quite easily. I know these guys, these engineers, can design something in a couple of days and knock it out, go to market. All right, so the way I configure this, I want this on the inside of the tent. That way, if it rains, the water will run off the sidewalls onto the tarp and away from the tent. With a few more modifications, we tighten up that angle, get it pretty well flush with the bottom of the sidewall. Not high enough to rub on here. That was one of the issues I had. So it could still come up another 3/4 of an inch or so. That's the way I'm going to do it. I think this has a lot of potential for whoever has the insight to go ahead and develop it further. Now, like I said, if they don't, I'm going to keep working on it. I'll eventually end up with a finished product that will be a lot more refined than what these are. But this is just to show that this is what can be done here. I mean, it's going to be great. Okay, so this is the 118-inch version. It fits perfectly for this space. I didn't have to struggle too much with shims or anything. It might need some depending on the configuration of the bracket, but they don't have to change anything on this. Use the same hardware. The winder comes off of the old bracket and can go right on the new one. I mean, like I said, I think this is a no-brainer. I'll go ahead and drop it again. Align the brackets just right. You can get this thing to go all the way down to the ground if you wanted to close off your tent temporarily. My configuration, I'm really going to be using this on the back side of the tent. If I can get another one, then I put one on the front side. But the way I lay out, only the back and the front are going to be accessible. So I would need two of them. But we'll look into that. I think this is going to work out great.